The top stories: Ethiopia and Angola pledge to deepen ties, champion African unity and progress. And experts call for a holistic approach to tackle human trafficking in East Africa. Hello and welcome to EBC with the news. I'm Tabitha John. Do stay with us. Ethiopia and Angola reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral and multilateral ties and to enhancing African leadership on the global stage. Ethiopian President Haile Selassie confers with the President of Angola and the current chairperson of the African Union on the sidelines of the US-Africa Business Summit in Luanda, Angola. The two leaders discussed areas in which they could further expand and strengthen their bilateral and multilateral relations, said Zerihun Abbebe, Director General of African Affairs at the Ministry of Ethiopian Foreign Affairs. Both leaders emphasized the importance of strengthening ties through institutional structures and agreed to invigorate the previously established Joint Ministerial Committee. Immediately he elaborated. According to Ambassador Zerihun, they also discussed ways to improve Africa's role on the continent international stage, particularly with regards to UN Security Council reform. Meanwhile, Ethiopia's President Haile Selassie conferred with Luisa Ortega, Coca-Cola Africa president, on the margins of the US-Africa Business Summit in Luanda. According to Ambassador Mule Tarekeng, the Deputy Director General of Europe and America Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the discussion revolved around key issues to expand Coca-Cola's investment in Ethiopia. During the discussion, the president appreciated Coca-Cola's long-standing contributions to Ethiopia's economic development and job creation since 1958. He also lauded Coca-Cola's solid tradition of carrying out its social corporate responsibility and community investment. The president noted that Ethiopia is a huge market with a growing youth population, an emerging consumer tradition, expanding infrastructure, and a favorable business environment. To that end, the president called on the Coca-Cola president to increase the company's presence in Ethiopia, the ambassador mentioned. President of the African Development Bank, AFDB, Akinwumi Adesina, called for the USA to increase its investments in Africa. The US-Africa Business Summit is underway in Luanda, Angola's capital. Organized by the Corporate Council on Africa in collaboration with the Angolan government, the US-Africa Summit will cover opportunities for expanding US-Africa trade, investment, and business relations. African presidents, heads of states, ministers, and senior USA and African government officials and business leaders are attending the summit. A high-level Ethiopian delegation led by President Haile Selassie is also in Luanda to participate at the summit. Addressing the summit, President of the African Development Bank, AFDB, Akinwumi Adesina, urged USA to increase its investments in Africa as the continent holds immense opportunities. Listen to this.
Smart investors should pay attention to Africa. African countries represent 13 out of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world. The New York Times ran a big headline that the world is becoming more African, with 1 in 4 people in the world being African. To feed the world, think Africa. That's because 65% of the uncultivated arable land left in the world is in Africa. To support global energy transition, think Africa. That is because Africa has one of the largest renewable energy potentials in the world and vast reserves of critical minerals and rare earth vital for manufacturing of computers, mobile phones, windmills, aerospace equipment, electric vehicles, and battery energy storage systems. The African continental free trade area is worth $3.4 trillion. Africa offers high rates of returns on investment. Don't believe me, believe the data. The United Nations Development Program, recent Africa Insights, Investment Insights, shows that investing in Africa gives internal rate of returns of between 15 and 20%. How about confidence of investors? And many of you are here today. Don't believe me, Again, believe the data.
While lauding the shift in U.S.-Africa relations from an aid-heavy model to one of commercial diplomacy, the president urged both sides to forge a strategic partnership that prioritizes capital investment in infrastructure, agriculture, mineral industries, and the development of digital infrastructure and capital markets.
The U.S. and Africa strategic partnerships should move beyond aid to investments. That is the way to go. Act on the data, not perceptions. Think Africa. Think opportunities. Think competition. From the US DFC to the US Exim Bank to institutional investors and capital allocators, invest in Africa. The African Development Bank Group will be there hand in hand with you, together with Corporate Council on Africa, and I will be, of course, your greatest champion. Today and well into the future, let's make Africa and US great again together.
Meanwhile, the United States has also expressed its readiness to strengthen its commercial diplomacy with Africa. According to a senior official in the Bureau of African Affairs at the U.S. Department of State, Troy Fitzgerald, USA is resolute in its decision to strengthen its commercial diplomacy with Africa. In his keynote address at the ongoing USA-Africa Summit in Luanda, the capital city of Angola, Ambassador Troy highlighted the USA's interest in shifting its foreign policy towards business deals under the new Trump administration. As a result, the U.S. government has placed a new emphasis on commercial diplomacy and directed its embassies on the continent to facilitate business linkage accordingly, he noted. Listen to this.
Africa is not the same place it was 25 years ago. And that's why this conference, this summit, has evolved over the 28 years we've been doing this. And that's why our relationships evolve over the 25 years that we've been doing this. When we met many of us met in Abidjan at the CEO Forum last month, and we unveiled a new commercial strategy for the United States government. And we did that because the world has changed, the United States has changed, markets have changed. The economies are vastly different today than they were 25 years ago. And we felt that we needed to have those kinds of changes in our U.S. government activities.
Furthermore, the ambassador emphasized that significant investment partnerships in infrastructure, including digital infrastructure, is crucial for Africa's effective participation in the modern economy.
We are focused on the latest technology, the latest innovation. We invest in our workforces. We provide value over a life cycle. I always like to say that the General Electric Wabtec locomotives, 95% of all the locomotives ever built are still operating today, even the ones that are 60, 70 years old. Because when you buy one, you buy for life. We have these opportunities, these kinds of investments. When you go look at an American company, you don't find Americans working on the shop floor. You find locals. But it's not just there. You find the technicians, the financiers, the accountants. You go into the boardrooms and you find locals there, because investing in the human capital is a fundamentally American way of doing business.
Volunteerism is not only a way for individuals to give back to their communities and assist those in need, but it also serves as a powerful tool for building relationships and strengthening social bonds. Since assuming office in 2018, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has made volunteerism a cornerstone of his reform agenda. His government has actively promoted a culture of volunteerism, encouraging citizens to engage in various social and economic development initiatives. As a result, people across the country are more inspired than ever to contribute their time, expertise, and resources to uplift their communities. Teguser Nisa reports.
Around the world, a significant portion of population faces housing challenges, including inadequate housing, homelessness, the lack of affordable options. A large number of people lack access to basic necessities like sanitation and clean water, with many living in slums or informal settlements. Since taking office in 2018, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has made the notion of voluntarism a central component of his reform agenda. The government has been at the forefront of promoting voluntarism by mobilizing the public to participate in various social and economic development activities.
This winter-time voluntarism is indeed such a satisfying thing to do. It is such a noble act to alleviate problems we face collectively. I would like to urge all to help out with whatever they can for the elderly and all the needy, since it's sure it's a noble act indeed.
People across the nation are now more motivated than ever before to help the needy and others by donating their time, knowledge and wealth to their community. And livelihoods have been transformed across the country due to this voluntarism spearheaded by the Premier.
I'm very much excited. I felt like today I have been born again, really. I feel like I was born again with such exceeding excitement. I'm now free from my problems and no more crying. I would like to thank God for all of it.
The renovation of old houses, provision of food and other essential items for the needy by voluntary organizations and individual groups have become a common practice in all parts of Ethiopia.
My house had been so miserable with no wall to protect us whatsoever, and my children were so afraid of living in my house since a lot of animals used to come into our house. But now it has changed beyond recognition. It doesn't feel like my house. I never had the means to renovate it, but God made a way. My household is nothing but filled happiness and health.
ልጆቼንም ስብስብ አድርጌ ደስተኛ ሆኖ በጣም አብሶ እጂ አንደኛዋ ልጄ በሽተኛ ነበር በጣም ትታመምብኛለች
ጉልበት ይኖረን ጊዜ ይኖረን ገንዘብ ይኖረን እንጂ በመስጠት
I would say if we have the wealth, health and whatever to help out with, rendering our voluntary deeds to our community shouldn't be something we would be fed up with. Those who are capable of helping out financially are indeed doing their share in school feeding, building restrooms and sponsoring students. So I would like to say to them, keep doing was of noble act and please don't be fed up with it and let us change livelihoods with every chance we get.
Ethiopian government has been trying its level best to build and renovate houses and create a neighborhood as eco-friendly as possible.
And finally, experts from the Regional Operational Center in support of the Khartoum process, ROC, say they are creating awareness among member countries of the process, of which Ethiopia is a founding member, to dismantle criminal networking involved in human trafficking in East Africa. Technical Director of the Regional Operational Center in support of the Khartoum process, Harvey Jamet, and the Regional Coordinator of the Center, Mukhtar Ramadan, also called for a holistic approach to enhance cooperation among regional and international organizations to fight human trafficking. Shagao Yamato has the following report.
Human trafficking is one of the current pressing challenges experiencing across the globe. Illegal migrants involved or suspected in organized crimes are facing heinous human rights violations. Talking to EVC World at this dialogue, Technical Director of Regional Operational Center in support of the Khartoum process, Harvey Jamet highlighted terrible experiences illegal migrants are facing while traveling to Europe and Asia, including Ethiopians.
We had the opportunity to go to Obok camp. It's in Djibouti. Yeah. It's a camp where you can see a lot of Ethiopians who are waiting to cross the sea in order to go to Yemen. And you face, it's really terrible because they arrive in this place and they sold everything in their country. Most of them, they sold their house in order to do the trip. And when they arrive in Obok camp, they are unable to continue their trip. So they are in the end of the network of human trafficking, and it's really terrible. What does it mean? The women, some they are sexually assaulted, harassed, and there is a lot of problems like that.
Regional Operational Center in support of the Khartoum process, ROC, which Ethiopia is one founder of the project, currently includes 12 East and Horn African nations. The initiative was established to fight against human trafficking and contribute the dismantling of criminal networking involved in human trafficking in East Africa through the creation of Exchange Center. The technical director says the regional initiative is working to make member countries to follow the same process against human trafficking. Regional coordinator of the Regional Operational Center, Mukhtar Ramadan, echoes the same sentiment, saying the center is striving to create awareness to citizens and cooperating with law enforcement agencies to dismantle human trafficking.
We organize training, we organize activities, we organize workshops. Just to give you, to underline one point very important, we are working on standard operative procedure in order to have the same process in order to fight against the criminal in all the region. So each country in the region, it means can be Chad, can be DRC, can be Ethiopia, Somalia. We will use the same process in order to fight against human trafficking.
We have a program which is running with us. These are programs on the national levels with the country to raise awareness for the citizens and their people in order to reduce the impact or the flow of migration. And there is a cooperation with the law enforcement, and also there are some, we are working closely with a program called Better Migration Management, which is there to improve or to help the countries to identify and to get the diagnostic for the reasons of why and from why the phenomena of human trafficking is coming up and how to deal with that.
The technical director underscores the need to cooperate with regional and international organizations to the management of victims, highlighting the crucial role of holistic approach to fight human trafficking.
We are strengthening the cooperation with international organizations like IOM in order to facilitate to take in consideration the victims, more to take in consideration the victims in the management of human trafficking. It's very important. You know, you have to understand that police officers, they are totally aware and they know how to manage investigation against human trafficking. They know how to arrest the people. They know how to prosecute the people. But when you inform them that they will face a group of 100 victims, they don't have the shelters. They don't have the money to feed them. So we need the full support of international organizations. And it's only through an holistic approach that we can enhance the cooperation concerning human trafficking.
The Regional Operational Center in support of the Khartoum Process Rock is a regional project established under the African Union and is tasked with combating human trafficking and migrant smuggling in cooperation with countries along the Horn of Africa-Europe migration route, facilitating information exchange and supporting national police forces in dismantling criminal networks.
You're watching EBC, a reminder of the top stories. Ethiopia and Angola pledged to deepen ties, champion African unity and progress. And experts call for a holistic approach to tackle human trafficking in East Africa. That's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.